Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this impromptu conversation about the Georgia State Conference's 83rd State Convention. I'm Attorney Gerald Griggs, the 13th president of the Georgia State Conference, and I'm honored to be here with my second vice president and the chair of the convention, Dr. Rosalind Matthews. Dr. Matthews, how you doing this evening?
Good evening, Mr. President. Good evening. I'm doing well. Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here as well. I'm excited to have this conversation about our 83rd annual state convention. And as you know, we just got back from the national convention in Charlotte, and boy, was that an exciting event. But now we're transitioning into our state convention, and I want to get members of the Georgia State Conference and all of the supporters of the NAACP excited about the state convention. So, can you tell us a little bit about our convention theme and what we can expect for the Georgia State Conference's 83rd annual convention?
Happy to do so. Again, we will be hosting our 83rd annual state convention October 9th through the 12th at the Atlanta Airport Marriott Gateway Hotel here in College Park. And we're super excited. We are using the same theme that we did for the National Convention in Charlotte, the fierce urgency of now. We're super excited about all of the units in and around the state of Georgia, and those that are not a part of the NAACP to join us.
And so, many people have been to a state convention, but some have not. What are some of the things that they can expect going into this state convention?
Well, that's a great question. We have some exciting trainings at the convention. We're going to have some exciting plenaries. We're going to talk about, again, the fierce urgency of now, having some of our elders, our leadership, get in front of us to do some information sharing regarding our strategic organizing. We'll have some powerful voices talking about voters' rights, the importance of economic empowerment, and just a setting of an agenda for the state of Georgia, a justice agenda for the state of Georgia.
And that's one of the exciting things about the Georgia State Conference's convention is we always train, but we also convene and educate. And so I'm excited about that portion. A lot of people are asking about win brunch and, of course, some of the ticketed events. Can you talk a little bit about what some of the ticketed events are and what people can expect?
Well, I'll start with the Win Brunch. That's a very popular brunch, and it's a WIN is Women in the NAACP. It's not closed to women; it's open to everyone, but it focuses on the work that is being done by the dynamic women in the NAACP, particularly the women here in the state of Georgia. We have some highlights where we introduce some of the game changers, some of the female game changers in Georgia, and then there's a luncheon, and we have a keynote speaker that they talk about some of the issues that are facing us in our community, and just address some of the things that are pertinent to the NAACP. Another one of our ticketed events is our signature event, the Freedom Fund Gala. The Freedom Fund Gala is a stellar signature event where we award some of the game changers in and around the states in the units, and we also have a rousing keynote speaker to come and join us and get us fired up and give us a charge for going forward.
And we're super excited about that Freedom Fund banquet. We have a Freedom Fund speaker tentatively set, and that announcement will be coming very soon. We're not going to make that announcement tonight. But I also just kind of want to talk about some of the trainings that will occur at the state convention. I know people always talk about training. We need training. So can you talk about some of the trainings that will happen at the state convention?
Absolutely. We're going to have a political action workshop with some dynamic speakers talking about the voting rights issues here in the state of Georgia, talking about the voting process. We're looking to have some health workshops and some health and wellness events. We're looking to even have a mobile clinic here at this 83rd convention. We're also going to have some training on economic development, which will be one of the highlights of the convention, as well as our legal redress, where we will talk about some of the how do you say, Mr. President, some of the legal redress issues for the national NAACP. We're going to have some members come from nationals and address things on a national level, things that are pertinent to moving the units forward and moving the state conference forward here in Georgia.
And that's, I think, one of the most exciting things when you talk about legal redress. They'll actually have trainings that'll be led by legal redress chair, Vivian Chair Hawks, and then also have a member of the national staff and maybe even some members from the Office of General Counsel kind of outline how we attack many of the issues that are happening in the state of Georgia, whether that's, I know it's a hot button topic all over, talking about redistricting that's happening in other states and what potentially could happen here, the voter purge, 400,000 that will be happening here in the state of Georgia. And then, of course, overall conversation on racial discrimination and racial intolerance issues. So I'm excited about that. But we also are going to feature one of the most important aspects of the Georgia State Conference, and that's our partnership with our veterans. So can you talk a little bit about that? I know Elder Edward DuBose, who's the national chair of our Armed Services and Veterans Affairs Committee, will be present at the state convention and has a powerful seminar committee meeting that will be hosted there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, this year we're going to try to do something a little different in that we're going to sort of honor and highlight our veterans around the state of Georgia. We are looking forward to a dynamic partnership with one of the longstanding organizations from the military community, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to give away everything, but we are hoping that we get a good turnout for this particular activity, because this year we're going to shine the light on the great work that our military veterans are doing around Georgia and highlight and award those at the luncheon or the dinner. It's going to be a dinner, actually.
Yes. And so one of the things that is the most impactful at any convention are the trainings. And so I know that we have a powerful trainer who's already signed on that will be having a workshop for training to make sure we are engaged in what civic engagement and direct action looks like. Can you talk a little bit about that training and the instructor that will be giving the trainings at the state convention?
Yes, absolutely. This brother is extremely dynamic, extremely well versed in direct action and civil engagement, as you say. Brother Kevin Miles, we look forward to him coming and leading the charge in regards to what we should do and how we should move in certain situations. I am so elated that he has accepted and will be joining us. He has been a member of the NAACP for quite some time, and he does other, civic engagement training outside of the NAACP, outside of the organization. So Brother Miles is going to bring it. He's going to talk about our bylaws. He's going to talk about what we should do in response to certain situations in our community and how we should go about addressing them. So we are very, very excited to have Kevin Miles come and join us this year.
Yes. And so we were kind of intentional in where we wanted to have the state conference convention. You know, last year it was virtual because of Hurricane Helene, and we weren't able to fully engage the way we wanted to in Augusta. And given that, we had that situation that happened last year, we wanted to make sure that the entire state could be engaged. And so, can you talk about the accommodations that we have secured at the Marriott Gateway?
Absolutely. The Marriott Gateway is located here in College Park, Georgia. It's 5, 10 minutes away from the airport. Excuse me, the airport. So for those individuals that are joining us that may be flying in, it's a tram ride away. Your tram ride away to the airport gateway. The accommodations are stellar. They've rolled out the red carpet for us, and we are just looking forward to being hosted by Marriott this year.
And it's a supreme great property, recently opened. It's right across the street from the airport. There's a tram that actually goes from the airport, and as you can see on the screen, this is the website for the Atlanta Airport Gateway Marriott. It's also connected to the arena that hosts the Atlanta Dream. So this is a premium property. It's stellar accommodations, and we're excited about all of the things that people will be able to do. As you know, the convention is from Thursday to Saturday. There will be a lot of events that occur on the property. There's a few events that will occur off the property. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But if you're interested in going ahead and securing your rooms, my understanding is the rooms are already available, and you can go ahead and contact the hotel. But there will be a link placed on the website, www.georgianaacp.org/state convention. But again, here is the actual website for the Marriott Gateway. And Dr. Matthews, kind of talk about why we chose this particular property.
Well, one, because as you say, it's centrally located and it's fairly new. So we want to, introduce this area to those in and around the state of Georgia that are coming in. It's a beautiful property, as you've already mentioned, Mr. President. Their accommodations really support what we're trying to do in terms of breakout rooms, in terms of plenary sessions, and the trainings that we mentioned earlier. They offer some amazing packages for their event space. And so we're looking forward to being hosted and supported by the Marriott Airport Gateway here in College Park, Georgia.
And we're excited about that because, again, we have a strong partnership with Marriott, and this is one of their premium properties within the state, and is also centrally located right across the street from the world's busiest airport. So, for those that are coming from the bottom of the state or the top of the state, and you don't want to drive, you can actually probably fly in. Of course, you'd have to go to Chattanooga or go down to Jacksonville and fly into Atlanta. But either way, it's right there, premiumly located, right next to the world's busiest airport. I think O'Hare would say that the largest, but that's neither here nor there. I also want to talk a little bit about how people can get engaged in the work once they get to the convention. Because many times we talk about the trainings and we talk about all of the things they're offering, but could you talk a little bit about the camaraderie and the relationship building of the units once they get to the state convention and build that cohesiveness around the state of Georgia?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the highlights of the convention. Getting to meet other folks from other units that are coming in, getting to share information about what you're doing in your local community and how you're going about the business of NAACP in your area, and actually engaging with each other. We have some things planned, of course, for those that are coming in. To sort of entertain, some entertainment activities, but the camaraderie, the engagement with each other, and the information sharing is one of the highlights of the convention.
And I love that the camaraderie and the relationship building. I want to talk a little bit about one of the things that are off-site, and we have a phenomenal partner in Elizabeth Baptist Church for the mass meeting on Thursday. Can we talk a little bit about that particular event and why it's important that we kick off with a church service mass meeting off-site, off the property?
Yeah, it's important because we want to always honor God. We want to give, homage and give Him the glory for all things that we do. I am super excited about partnering with Elizabeth Baptist. It is not on the property, but it is not the Marriott Gateway property, of course, but it's not too far. We go and we are actually get a rousing, oratory perspective on where we are and where we need to go in terms of our work with the NAACP. Sometimes we have to look back in order to go forward. And the Dinner for the Soul is another activity within this mass meeting where we have a camaraderie and we engage with our unit partners all over Georgia. But it is a faith-based sort of engagement where you have a dynamic speaker and they get you fired up and ready to go for the work, not only in the state, but what we have to do, the work of the NAACP for the 3 days that we're going to be at the Atlanta Marriott. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Exactly. And one of the things that's important about the state conference convention is to kind of encapsulate the work that we've done throughout the entire year. So there will be a report given to the membership of the work. We just finished our executive committee meeting, and we also had a third quarterly meeting where we kind of gave the annual report. But we will give a rundown of all of the work that has been done by the Georgia State Conference and all of her units, to make sure we are, excuse me, fired up to go into the next year. And so it kind of encapsulates and ends the year. And of course, there's only one way we can end a state convention. Every 2 years, there's an election. And so I kind of want you to talk about how that will be run. Of course, we know National will be coming down to run the election, but give people a little bit of an update on what will happen with the election.
Well, thank you for that opportunity, Mr. President. We will have delegates from the units come in, and we'll have caucusing per unit from each unit to talk about who they are selecting for their leadership in the coming biennium. As you say, National will be coming down to govern the elections. And I do believe that there will be an opportunity for those that are running for office to share their campaign platforms and what their ideals are for the coming year.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I want people to take apart from this is the work of the NAACP never stops. Of course, to those who don't know, I will not be running for a third term as state president, but I do want everyone to have an opportunity to hear from all of the candidates. So there will be a candidate forum. I believe that's on the last day right before the election. You get to hear their platforms. I'm sure during the election, you'll get to meet the candidates and they'll have their platforms and get to really vet what they've done. But I'm excited to bring that level of transparency and openness to the democratic process of the election, which will conclude the 83rd annual state conference convention. So want to kind of talk to people about early registration, when the deadlines are for early registration, and then, of course, booking for hotels, and then when they need to make sure they have their delegates elected. So if you could talk a little bit about that, the dates and those things.
Well, as far as registration, it will be opening soon. Early bird opens on the 8th, and I believe that is this coming Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. It might be even Friday. I'm sorry, I don't have the calendar in front of me, but it opens August 8th and it ends on September 9th. So we want you to be accommodated, and the sooner you get it in, the better you'll feel, because you'll get somewhat of a discount. Advanced registration is from September 10th to October 3rd, and on-site registration will also be available from the 9th to the 11th. Again, you can register online. The link will be at www.georgianaacp.org. And as you have mentioned, Mr. President, that the Atlanta Airport Marriott Gateway registrations are open now. The deadline to register is September 25th.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, you had asked me to give a little bit of insight on something else.
Yeah, a little bit of insight on what how they make sure that they get registered, and then ultimately elections of delegates. They got to make sure that those delegates are in, so you have your voting delegates for the election. Can you talk about voting delegates not only for election but for the business of the NAACP? Can you talk
Yes.
about those deadlines before the state convention?
Well, per the bylaws, the delegates need to be elected a month out before the convention. Our convention will be convening in October. Therefore, the election for delegates needs to happen in the September meeting. The delegates not only vote on the new leadership for the Georgia State Conference, but there are other things, order of business that may call for the vote, and the delegates will be leading that effort. So again, the delegates need to be elected the month before we convene, which is in September. So that would be at your September meeting, and then be prepared to vote not only for the leadership or in the upcoming election for candidates, but also for the business of the Georgia State Conference.
And one of those things that you might be voting on, and we received this information at the last executive committee meeting, is we are preparing the bylaws. As you know, the state bylaws have been suspended. The bylaws committee has been working feverishly. There won't be a final vote, but there may be the presentation of a rough draft of the bylaws. So that's a big reason to make sure you have your delegates elected, so that they can bring that information and put input into that. Because, of course, you know, the bylaws have to be ratified by the body. Another thing that is going to happen at the state convention that you need to be prepared for with regard to your delegates is any resolutions that need to be taken up. For those that were up at national convention and saw the resolution process, which lasts a long time,
Mhm.
um, we can put forward resolutions from the floor here to be taken up at the next national convention, which of course will be in Chicago, Illinois. So want to make sure you guys are prepared for resolutions, because resolutions is how we speak as the NAACP, and the Georgia State Conference wants to be able to speak to issues that are germane to Georgia, but also that are germane to the National Association. So you need to have your delegates elected so you can take part in the resolutions. And so just want to make sure that information is there. So Dr. Matthews, any parting thoughts on the state convention or anything else you want people to know as we get ready to wrap up this live to kind of get people ready for the 83rd annual state convention?
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want people to know that this is a critical time that we find ourselves in. This is not just a rallying cry. This is critical, important times. Again, we are in the fierce urgency of now, and it demands bold action. It demands folks to come to the table. It demands the Georgia State Conference to unify as one so that we can move forward in engaging in justice and a justice platform for Georgia. So we are, again, super excited. We are very happy to host you here in Atlanta, in College Park, Georgia. And we want all of those under the sound of our voice to come on out and join us and make this 83rd annual convention one of excellence and one of the best conferences and conventions that we've had in some time.
And so I echo those statements, and I want people to understand the fierce urgency of now is not just a rallying cry, it's actually true. As you see the things that are happening around the state of Georgia and nationally, there's an attack on civil rights. There's an attack on all of the hard fought wins that we have sustained over the course of the 116 years of this venerable association. And for all of those people online or watching this on television who say, oh, I don't know what the NAACP is doing, this is your opportunity to come to the state convention where the business of the Georgia State Conference is done and learn. to participate, to get engaged, to not just talk on social media in the comments, but to actually do the work and to make sure you push the rights that have been so hard fought for so many years forward. So this is that opportunity. We're also going to engage new technology, just like we are live here on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. We will be live at the Georgia State Conference Convention. Now, that doesn't mean you should not come to the convention, because I know many of y'all like to watch church on television and not come to the church. We want you to actually come. And then, of course, for those who can't make it, can watch it live on YouTube and Facebook. But we want to make sure you're there. Here's the thing, y'all. This is the 83rd Annual State Convention. This is where the business of the NAACP is done, but it's also where the NAACP gathers and convenes so that we all, as a democratic organization, democratic with the small d, not the big D, because we're nonpartisan, but as you can see behind me, we're political as H, can gather and convene and have the difficult, tough conversations about where you want this organization to go and how we can make sure that civil rights are protected. But I also want you to know this is y'all's NAACP. It's not mine. It's not Dr. Matthews. It's not anybody else's. This is the place where people of color, but primarily Black people, can get engaged and have those tough family reunion conversations. And then we go back outside and deal with the issues that are before us. So I'm excited about this 83rd State Convention. I'm excited about the speakers. We will be giving information on who's coming, but I'm just going to tell you some of the biggest names in civil rights will be at this convention. You do not need to miss this convention. And for those that want to share this information, please click that share and like button and share it so everybody will know that the NAACP will be at the Atlanta Marriott Gateway October the 9th through the 11th, and we're going to be fired up and ready to go. So I'm just excited. Dr. Matthews, anything else you want to cover before we sign off?
No, Mr. President, I think that we covered it fairly well. Again, please don't hesitate to check the website. We're going to be listing those dynamic speakers, as President Griggs just mentioned. We will have them up on the website as soon as we are able to announce, but we're going to really look forward to them, and we're going to have a good time. So come on out with us and have a great time.
And so we're looking forward to being with you guys in Atlanta, Georgia, to do the work of the NAACP, to have a good time, to learn, to engage, and then to return home fired up and ready to go, because we are truly in the fierce urgency of right now. And as our venerable chairman always says, it's better to do than to talk. And so we need everybody ready to have a conversation that leads to action, and that action will be taking place starting October the 9th in College Park in the city of Atlanta. And so I'm excited to see you. We got some surprises, y'all, so stay tuned. Always be a pleasure to be with y'all. I'm Attorney Gerald Griggs, 13th President of the Georgia State Conference. Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Brother President. And we'll see you guys on October 9th in College Park.
October 9th, College Park. See you guys, and we are signing off.